Welcome to Look Around Florida. I'm your host, Sean McFall, aka the Florida Man. I'm glad you all could be here tonight. We have our guest speaker tonight is Leon Arthur. I got him in the background right now. When you join the chat, just type in the chat hi, and if you represent a SCV camp, OCR, UDC, include that. I love seeing multiple camps and chapters throughout the Confederation join me. Hey, Derek from the Tennessee Division. Glad you could be here, buddy. Hope you and everybody there in Jamestown is doing good. So just like Derek, just type in hi, and if you represent a SCV, UDC, or OCR chapter, let me know. Well, it's been a crazy week. This week got a list of events coming up. Hey, Linda Hudson, Jeffro Cotton. Uh, so we have a list of events coming up. Let's get some of them out of the way. We're up to 8 people, so let me get this out of the way. This way, it saves me from a phone call. Yes, it's a disclaimer. So anything that comes out of my mouth or whatever, or Leon's mouth, is our opinions. Just don't want to get a phone call, even though we have the Army of Tennessee Councilman Roy Hudson in the chat. Good to see you tonight, Roy. So, it's been a good week so far. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with Donna McPherson talking about how to deal with the VA on getting headstones. Would talk with her since then. She just graced the surface of that. But if you're having a hard time getting a VA headstone uh, and deal with the VA, hit up Donna McPherson. She'll walk you through and guide you on everything. So, list of events that are coming up. Whoop. I just got an alert from Facebook. Hey, Bob. Brigade Commander Bob Highball's in the chat. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook, and it is. You guys that are on Facebook, are you guys having any problems? Hey, Al from the Tennessee Division. If you're texting me or trying to call me, my phone's just about dead. Thanks, Jeffro, for letting me know Facebook's down. Okay. Yeah, I just got a notification from StreamYard, so please bear with me. I'm trying to fix the. Okay. Leon comes tonight and Facebook goes crazy. All right. Can somebody take a look on Facebook to see if I'm coming in real good? Jeffro, I know you just text me. And my phone's just about dead. Thanks, Linda. Okay. All right, guys, stand by on Facebook. I just, oh, yeah. Thank you, Jeffrey, for letting me know YouTube's still good to go. All right. Guys, just type in the chat. Let me know if you guys are able to see everything on Facebook. All right. Let me try this. I Okay. Let me try this. All right, guys, I got a green check mark on Facebook. Double check for me. All right, I got friends of mine text me, said we're good to go. All right, thank you. Let's get back on track. Please share these episodes out. Get the word out. We're back on Facebook. We're live. Thank you for your patience. If anything can happen, it can happen to me at a moment's notice. Most of you know that. Alrighty. Let me go to our Facebook page and double check. Thanks, Victor. Let me get the word out that we're back online now. All right, everybody, just please stand by. All right, there we go. I just put on Facebook. We're back online. Thanks, Roy. Good. Yeah, I had to delete the Facebook link and redo it. So, oh, yeah, member count is climbing. So, good. I'm glad you're all patient with me tonight. So, let me get back on topic. When you join the chat, please say hi. And if you represent an SCV, UDC, or OCR, thanks, Heather. Chapter A, Beth. October 11th at Joshua Creek Cemetery, we are doing a CERT class. What a CERT class is Confederate Emergency Response Team, the no harm way of cleaning headstones and monuments. Hey, Bob Highball, 8th Brigade Commander of the Florida Division's in the house. Sweet. So October 11th is that. Bobby Van Zant, the St. Pete boys, are doing a cemetery cleanup on October 11th also. I forgot to put the note on what cemetery that they're doing. I know it's right there in Clearwater area. So, guys, girls, I'm going to keep putting this out there. If you're going to Grape Hammock, November 7th and the 9th for the Mechanized Cavalry State meeting, please get with Captain King or Lieutenant Ronnie Nichols. They need to know we got a couple bunkhouses reserved. They want to make sure we got enough room for everybody. It's first come, first serve. So please get with Captain King or Lieutenant Nichols of 3rd Battalion Company D. November the 15th, Jacksonville, Florida. We gonna have the soldiers, Florida Soldiers Monument dedication. Florida Division Commander Calvin Hart and Florida Division Adjutant Rick Roberts will be on next Wednesday to go in detail what they're looking for and what they're hoping to achieve. November the 29th at the American Legion, 10 to 3 in Arcadia, Florida for their annual Christmas party. I know Donna and Mary McPherson are doing their annual Christmas party coming up. I forgot to write down dates. Billy, good to see you, buddy. So, guys, please give a warm welcome to a good friend of mine, Leon Arthur, brigade commander just to the north of me. Let's give him my hand. Welcome, Leon. How you doing tonight, sir?
Well, not bad. Thank you for that introduction, and good to see everybody on here that's watching. And it's always a joy. Some of these people that we've worked with for years, we don't get to see them enough, but I consider them all. If they're in the Confederation and the SEV, I consider them to be more like family to me than anything else. And I want to talk to you tonight about a couple things. A little bit, I know there's people on there that don't know who I am, and a lot of them do know who I am, but I'll give you a little bit of background of where I come from. I'm from Florida. I was born in Duval County in the Jacksonville area. I lived there when I was young, but I had kin people scattered all over the state. Some of them were commercial fishermen, some of them in the cattle business. So I've been around a long time and got probably 3 to 4 generations of Floridians here. Even though my father come from North Carolina and my mother's people come out of Lake Arthur, Louisiana. So I maybe got a little Cajun in me. I don't know about that, but I've also, from my daddy's side, I'm pretty much English and Scotch-Irish, pretty much, and probably a little bit of Viking in me from my mother's side as well. I've been in the SCV for approximately 25 years. I think I joined the SCV in about 2000 when I retired from Englewood Water District in Charlotte County in Englewood, Florida. And I worked there for about 35, 36 years. I retired as a superintendent, and it's not what I always wanted to do. I told a lot of the people here in DeSoto County that I know I'd rather be over here on the horse with y'all working cows than be over in Englewood Water District, but I had to go where I could make a living. It was a long, drawn-out affair for me to get into SC, Confederate Veteran, because I didn't know how to do it. We used to have a saying in Florida that the Florida Division was one of the best kept secrets that there was, and I had never heard of it at the particular time. So I tried to go through Virginia to join the SCV. They kept sending me back letters and stuff. I needed to go to the state that my Confederate ancestors was. So that's what we did. We went back to North Carolina, and that's where we started finding a lot of people that was in the Confederate Army that's related to me. So far, we have found approximately a dozen Confederate soldiers that was related to me, and I'm proud of every one of them. I'm proud of what they stood for and what they fought for. When I went into Sons of Confederate Veterans, the first camp that I went to Zolfo Springs, and they had their annual Pioneer Days thing up yonder, and there was a camp set up there. They had an artillery piece, a mountain howitzer, which I knew about all that kind of stuff. I had studied history, especially American history and European history, and studied the war for many, many, many years, even when I was young, before I ever went into the SCV. And used to take a guy fishing down on Marco Island when I was young. He worked for the Miami Police Department. He was high up in rank. And I'd run him around in a boat, take him fishing, and he was a big advocate of the war. He went to all the battlefields and stuff, and he was a Florida boy as well. So I learned a lot from him even when I was a kid. So I knew a lot about the war before I went into SCV. But I've learned some things since I've been in there too. I've learned some things from the Kennedy brothers, which I've been in meetings with them. Great guys. We're very thankful for the one that has become the national commander. Good people, as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, the first camp that I went into was the General David E. Twiggs camp. I believe it was Camp 1462. I went in there. They used to have quite a few members, but they never really did a whole lot to get out in the public view. And I remember going to meetings, that very few people would show up. It had declined even when I went in there. A couple of times I went to meeting and it was me and one other guy there. So I joined it, and within the first year, they made me a lieutenant commander of the camp. So then I served for about a year as lieutenant commander. Then they appointed or voted me in to be the camp commander, which I did that for, I don't know, approximately 4 years, maybe 5 years, something like that. I can't remember how long. And pretty much, I'm not bragging on what I did. I just want to give you an idea of what I've done, where I come from, and what I believe in. Now, I believe in the South. I'm a Southerner. But anyhow, we worked in Twigs, and I started recruiting people, more people, got them in there. We got it up up to around 40 some members, if I remember correctly. And we had a few little problems, which every camp does, So I kind of backed out of it, and then at that particular time, I was still in the Twigs camp. I started and chartered another camp, the F.A. Henry camp in Sebring. So when I left the Twigs camp, I went and joined with the Henry camp over in Sebring. I think they was Camp 2150, if I remember correctly. And I worked over there for a while. But while I was still in the Twigs camp, I also chartered a camp in Charlotte County called the Joel Knight Camp. I don't remember the camp number. It went good for a while, but it finally, unfortunately, it closed down. I tried to keep them going, but nobody wanted to step up to the plate and do anything. I'm hoping we can get it going again in the near future. And also, I took members I had in the Twigs camp to get 7 to 10 members in the Joel Knight camp. And then at the same time, I got the Bogus camp going down in Everglades, which I have to thank Sean for keeping that one going, because they started out in a big bang and had good meetings, a lot of people. I went down and spoke to them a number of times, and I believe they had somebody from the Texas division that come down there one time and spoke for us. And they were doing good, but they kind of declined. And then, Sean, you've kind of picked it up out of the ashes and got it going again. We're thankful for that very much. So it's still going. But then after doing all that, I decided, well, we need to do something here in Arcadia. So then I got together with some of the old members, and decided we would start a camp here in Arcadia. So at that particular time, I was so busy, I was going to 5 and 6 camp meetings a month, just all the time going somewhere. So we started the Confederate Cal Cavalry, and then we come up with a name. Nobody would come up with a name, so I come up with a name because DeSoto County had a lot of Confederates in it. It was in Florida. They come from Florida, went in the Confederate Army. Up to Georgia to supply food for the Confederate Army. So nobody could come up with a name. So I said, let's call it the Confederate Cal Cavalry, which I already heard there was a Cal Cavalry camp over on the East Coast. So we put Confederate in there and called it Confederate Cal Cavalry Camp. So basically, I charted about 4 camps. Now we've got members that we have recruited again, newer members, people that I knew in the Englewood area when I lived over yonder and worked the Englewood Water District. We've recruited some of them in this camp here in Arcadia, and I'm hoping we get enough that we can get this Joel Knight camp going again over yonder in the near future. But we'll see how that goes. So it's been a long journey, an exciting journey. I met a lot of people, friends of mine that I've enjoyed working with. Before I go any further and get into headstones, I'm going to talk a little bit about some headstones. Our last camp meeting that we had, I think 2 weeks ago, our camp meetings is the second Tuesday of every month, and we close up for 3 months in the summertime. We had a good crowd. I think there was 35, maybe 40 people there. The room was pretty packed. People that we had invited. I was sitting in the back facing the front door at the American Legion, and here come this gentleman in the front door that I knew very well, a friend of mine that I worked with for many years. And I think highly of him. And he was one of our past division commanders, Kelly Crocker. And I thought, well, I hadn't talked to him in a couple of weeks. I said, what in the world is he doing here? So I greeted him and talked to him, so glad to see him. I'm always glad to see anybody like that. Then pretty soon I looked in the door. Here come another gentleman that I knew for years and worked with for years and think highly of him. He was Daryl Rattery. So they come in. I had no idea what they were doing there. It took me totally by surprise. I think that morning I had talked to David King, which me and him was good friends, have been for a long time. I think very highly of him, and I considered him to be a good friend. I talked to him, and he'd asked me, he said, is Kelly Crocker coming down tonight? I said, no, I don't think so. I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks. So I think he about let the cat out of the bag, whether he knew it or not, but it made me think, now, why did he say that for? So anyhow, we went on with the meeting, and Kelly come up to me and said, can I speak, get a couple of minutes to speak? I said, yeah, I'll make that happen for you. So I told the new camp commander, because I was the camp commander for about 13 years. This camp is going about 14 years old. So I was the camp commander for 13 years. And at one time when I started it, I was the camp commander, the lieutenant commander, the brigade commander, the treasurer, the adjutant. I was everything. I did everything. So you can't sit around and tell me, if you can't get some help, you do it yourself. But anyhow, they came in yonder, that Kelly got to speak, and he got to talking about this here award that National gives out. And I thought, well, what's he talking about? I was thinking all this to myself. Who in here deserves awards from National? Because I never was one to seek out their awards or medals to begin with. I always looked at this here where if somebody wants to toot my horn, I'd let somebody else toot it. I don't want to toot it. Let somebody else toot it for me. So Kelly got up and started talking about this here prestigious award that National gives out for, I don't remember the name of it now, but I had a certificate and a medal. It's a grave award. And he was talking about that only about 7 of them has ever been issued, and they can only give out once a year, which I knew that. But I said, well, who in the world here would receive an award like that? And Kelly did a good job presenting that and drove way down here for that. And I highly commend them for that. That was, I remember when I lost my wife, so many people from the division come down to support me in that. And I never forgot that. And I never will forget it for the help that they did me and the support that they gave me. I was sitting there thinking, who's going to get this award now? I had no idea. Well, they gave it to me, and everybody in the division, I guess, knew it but me. So the next day, a lot of people started calling me, congratulating me on getting this award. So I got to think, well, everybody knew it but me. I sure didn't know nothing about it. But it was a big surprise, but a good surprise. And Kelly Crocker, if you listening in, I highly appreciate you coming down and doing that. It was you and Daryl Rattery. It just made my whole evening just to see y'all again, because I don't get to see y'all that much anymore. And I'm getting up in age and I don't travel as much as I used to. So I consider myself to have some good friends in the SCV, and they're good people. Me and Sean, we've known each other for many, many years, and we've been good friends. And I had some good friends in Fort Myers in that camp down yonder in the footman camp. A lot of those people that started in the Boggess camp down there, they were people that I knew. A lot of them was related to me from years ago. And it was kind of a strange thing when I started that, because a lot of those people down in Everglades, those old native people that was down there, they can be very clannish, like Scottish and English people can be to begin with. And I was going into the 15th Brigade to try to get this done. At that particular time, Tom Falk was the brigade commander down yonder. And he was always a big help to me. I enjoyed working with him. I could ask him something. He was always Johnny on the spot to help me. But I told Tom, I said, Tom, I know these people down here and they're very clannish. And I'd like for you just to step back, if you don't mind, and let me handle this and get this going. And I realize that I'm in your area and I don't want to butt in on your area, but I know these people. And if you go down there, you're not from Florida. And they ain't going to take to you very kindly. I said, but when I get it all done and established, I'll bring you down here and introduce you. And I'll let them know that you are their brigade commander, not me. And so that's what we did. And Tom, he come down there. He bought all the medals for the officers and everything out of his own pocket. That's the character that some of these SCV people's got. And it turned out good. So we're thankful for everybody in the SCV that has helped us. And I still try to get out. Probably when I lost my wife, I was about ready to quit it all. But I remember her telling me, Leon, something happened to me, you keep doing this. So I've done my best to keep it going. And I'll keep it going probably till I die. But anyhow, to get back to the camps and stuff that we have done and worked in and enjoyed working with, and constantly, our last meeting, we swore in 4 brand new members. I'm working on 2 more. I've got a couple other people in the camp that is real go-getters that has brought in new members. So we're growing now. We're probably, I don't know, I haven't looked at the roster. We're probably somewhere up around 40 people now. Mm-hmm. If we had all the people that has dropped out that I've recruited in the past, we'd probably have 75 or more. But, it's hard to retain them. And that's something that's always on my mind is how do we retain these people? What can we do better to keep them interested, to try to get the young people in? We've got some young boys in that would go getters for a while, and then they've kind of just laid back and you don't see them much anymore. And so I'm open for any advice that anybody's got on how to retain people, keep them interested. Because I have recruited a lot of people in 25 years that I've been in the SCV. But I remember when I retired and I came to DeSoto County, which my family's from here. So I've been in and out of Arcady my whole life, building pasture fence, working some cows when I was younger. And it's been fun. And then when we started over here, in the SCV at the Twigs camp, me and Evelyn, we decided, we wanted to find all the Confederate veterans that was in DeSoto County. That was our job that we decided we would do on our own. We didn't ask nobody for nothing. We didn't ask nobody for no money, no funds, or nothing whatsoever. We took our own money out of our own pocket, and we went to work. I didn't ask for no committee meetings, nothing like that. We was lock, stock, and barrel ourselves. We just went and done it. So we started looking for headstones where Confederate would be buried at. Of course, some of them was visible, some of them wasn't. The ones we found, they was highly in disarray, growed up. Some of them was so dirt, the headstone was so nasty and dirty you couldn't even read them. We didn't know much about it at the particular time, but we decided we would clean these headstones. So we went to work on our own cleaning the headstones. We thought we would just find as many as we could and clean those and get them looking good. Then we would go back and work on the iron crosses and put flags and stuff on them. So we didn't know how to clean them. So somebody had mentioned something to me at one time, and I mentioned it to several other people before Orvis and stuff come around. We used white distilled vinegar, which works pretty good. It don't work quite as good as Orvis does, but it works pretty good. But that's what we started because we didn't know any better. So we started cleaning these headstones, and some was broke and 2 laying on the ground. We didn't know at the time that you could get new ones from the Veterans Administration. So we went to work and we would clean them. I took big clamps and 2x4s and that real high, expensive 3M adhesive, and I glued them together. And some of them I glued together. It's been over there over 10 years now, and they're still there. They're still legible. And so we went through all that, and then when we got done cleaning them, I think we found about 70 of them, 68, 69 to 70 of them, somewhere in that category. And I'm sure what we have found so far is 77 of them. And I'm sure there's probably a few more here, but we constantly keep searching all the time to see if we can find more of them. But right now we got 77 Confederate veterans buried in DeSoto County in about 6 or 7 different cemeteries. A couple of them is way off out in the woods on private property that you have to get permission to go in there. But the people that I work with in DeSoto County to do this, I tried to work with them, the ones that was over the cemeteries and stuff, and they were all very helpful to me and congratulated me for going out there doing these things. So that's what we done, and we got them all cleaned. Then we started buying iron crosses, which we started out using the old cast iron ones, where there wasn't too much money back in those days. I think there was about $35, something like that. Now they're about $125. I couldn't afford to buy 77 iron crosses at that price anymore. I don't have that kind of money. But we did at that particular time. We paid for all those out of our own pocket. And then we started making little flag holders to raise the flags up a little higher so you could spot them easier when you went to the cemeteries. You could see the flags there, and then you didn't have to guess. But over these years, I have learned about wherever one of them is, and I've tried to get other people. Some of them got on board to try to show them where everything is at, so when I pass on, somebody else can take the torch and carry it. But at this point, we have 77 Confederate veterans buried in DeSoto County. Every one of them has a Confederate Iron Cross of honor on the grave. Every one of them keep flags on. We change flags at least twice a year. We constantly buying flags, the 12 by 18s. We use those. I like those better than I do the little teeny ones. I think Donna McPherson is working on another one now at, I think at Joshua's Creek Cemetery. So we'll probably be putting another one in there as well. Now we have bought a bunch of the Orvis and stuff, which works real good. And me and Arthur Southwell has become the guardian of these 77 Confederate veterans in DeSoto County. Arthur Southwell used to put a lot of flags out, but he's getting up in age, like I am. He don't do it much anymore. His brother used to do it as well. His brother passed away. So we've lost some members in the SCV. My oldest brother was one of our members, and my youngest brother was one of our members. Both of them passed away. So all my family, my mother and father, my family gone, my brothers and sisters is all gone. I'm the only one left. I'm the last of the Mohegans. So it's been a job, but it's been a good job. We're still constantly working on it all the time. And sometimes I just get in my truck, go by myself like you do, Sean, and I go change flags. Now, we did put a flag, we got permission to put a flag at the Coker Cemetery here a while back. And we got one there, but we made a mistake and we didn't get it on cemetery property.
Flagpole.
It's a flagpole. It's about a 22 to 25 foot flagpole with a Confederate flag on it. And the Cokers run the cemetery. They're over the cemetery. And they're good people. And one of their Confederate ancestors is buried in that little cemetery. So we've got to go back. We're probably going to do it this coming Sunday morning. We're going to go back and we got the flagpole about 3 foot on somebody else's property, 3 or 4 feet, something like that. But nobody's never said anything about it, but it came to our attention that that's what we done. So we're going to go and change it, and we're going to put the flag back up right by the grave side of a Coker that's a Confederate soldier also. So we plan on doing that Sunday. It's a constant job, like I say, to continue to get these things clean. We had a big ceremony for Confederate History Month back in April, and me and my other wife, DeLynn, we went out there. We worked cleaning headstones for days out in this heat and got all of them cleaned up pretty good. Then we got a guy that we know that's in the landscaping business, got mowers and everything. Excuse me. if he'd come in and help us clean it up, what he would charge us to do that. Well, he gave us a good price. He come in, he done it in a couple of days. And he pretty much said, if you'll just pay my helper $125 a day for a couple of days and just give me a couple $100, he said, I'll be satisfied with that. So that was a great deal. He did a great job of cleaning it up. We highly appreciate what he did. But it was all done and over with. I slipped another few $100 out of my own pocket to him and gave to him. He was very appreciative of that. And I'm sure that we could probably get him again. It's a private cemetery. The DeSoto County Sheriff's Department used to take the prisoners in there and mow and clean it up. But after COVID, they stopped doing it. So now that's where Evan's buried. That's where all my plots and stuff is. I got kin people in that cemetery as well. So it's up to individual to keep it clean and mowed and everything. I know, Sean, you come up there and you clean headstones, and that's where your camp's namesake is buried at too. Lieutenant Francis Calvin Morgan Bogus is buried in that cemetery.
Yes, sir.
I think we got about, in that one cemetery, I think there's about 19 Confederate soldiers buried there, and about 18 or 19 in the city cemetery it's owned by the city of Arcadia. We got about 19 there, maybe 20. And the rest of them is scattered around in smaller cemeteries, on private cemeteries. Some is on ranches and stuff, on cattle land and stuff that you can get to them. But it's total about 77 Confederate veterans here, and I'm sure we're going to find more. But we have also went outside of DeSoto County. But let me make this clear that DeSoto County it was my number one priority to begin with. I started working in DeSoto County to take care of everything here. I still kind of hold to that, but I still slip around, and I put flags out over Cruzville. I put flags out in Glades County, Polk County, put them all up in through Wauchula. There's about 77 to 75 Confederates in Hardy County and cemeteries up there. We've done numerous Confederate ceremonies to honor the dead Confederate soldiers all over the state. We went down to Marco Island down in your area, Sean, at one time.
Yep.
For Collier, we done one down there, and I've got kin people buried in that cemetery as well. We had a big crowd there. We had a lot of people, they're not even from Florida, but they was in the Historical Society down yonder. And I got to give those people credit. They got on the ball, and they went to the county commissioners and everything, and they set everything up for us. And they went and called the fire department and everything when I told them we was going to have artillery pieces there. They did a great job in setting us up. And I have to commend the Marco Island Historical Society for the help that they've done for that. We've done several big ceremonies in Oak Ridge Cemetery downtown in Arcadia. We've done a couple ceremonies at the Joshua Creek Cemetery where David King and a lot of the boys from the Jubilee camp come down and help. This has been very helpful to me over the years, and I highly appreciate the work that they have done. It's a struggle, but it's been, like I said, it's been a good struggle, and it's a struggle that goes on. You still got to go back and clean those headstones occasionally regardless. And, all I can say is when I'm dead and gone, I hope somebody will take the interest in it like I did to see that this stuff gets done. And I'm sure that there's somewhere along the line that God will put the spirit in somebody's heart and soul to go do the same thing. That's about all I got to talk about tonight, unless I got any questions. But before you answer any questions, I got a couple of pictures I want to show you here.
Yeah.
You let me know if you can see it. These are pictures of United Confederate Veterans in DeSoto County in 1901 in front of the old wood bank building that burnt down years ago when Arcadia caught on fire. But this is not all of them. I'll show that up. You tell me if I have to go backwards or forward with it. Can you see that?
Yeah, I kind of removed myself so to give you a bigger picture, Leon.
I need to go back toward me with it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Right there's good. You got the full picture now.
Okay. All right. So you can see on here, a lot of people will recognize a lot of these names. There's Widdens, Keens, Coopers, Barnhills, Walkers, Sapps, Avants, Thompsons, Hagens, Rogers, Hamptons, Norris, Albritton, a lot of Albrittons, and Norrises and Lassingers. Keens, Judge Pooser. I stopped there with the Poosers. We just found out also that there's 2 Poosers buried in this Oak Ridge Cemetery that was from Florida. One of them is Atkinson Pooser, which was he was promoted to captain at the end of the war. And his brother Emerson Pooser is buried right across the road in the same cemetery from him. And we just recently found out that they had another brother that died in Virginia and was buried probably up there in that Oak Lawn Cemetery. So we just sponsored and got that done to have a headstone put there for him because he's another Pooser. I think he was a private. So one was a captain. I think one, and the other 2 was privates, I think. So he will be remembered as one of the Florida boys that came out of Florida, which we know that there was roughly around 15,000 young Florida boys that went in the Confederate Army. And a lot of those boys never came back. So Florida produced approximately 15,000 young boys in the Confederate Army per capita at that particular time because Florida was not didn't have a whole lot of people here. So Florida probably sent more young boys in the Confederate Army than any southern state ever did. I got another picture here. It has nothing to do with the SCV, but I thought it was kind of humorous for you to look at to see how life was when I was young. This picture was taken when I was about 17 years old, maybe 18 years old. And this is in a store at a bar down on the island, which in those days when I was young, those people down there were rough people. Now, I'm telling you, they were rough. I grew up around rough people. And I can get along with rough people. These pansies, I can't cut them. Now, I'm one of them kind of people. I'm for the underdog to begin with. But here's a picture of me holding a shotgun, and that's the way we went all the time. Can you see that one?
I'm going to remove myself so people get a better view of you.
How's that?
That was good, Leon.
Good. All right. The guy sitting on the bar stool, his name, he was a Hamilton. He got a shotgun on my shoulder. And Wendell Rhymes is in the back there with a cowboy hat on. He had a shotgun. And I'm holding the shotgun. There I'm with a long sleeve shirt on and a ball cap on and barefooted because I went barefooted all the time. But that's the way we was when we was kids. And we had a school down here where we went out and shot 22s and stuff during the daytime at recess. And we walked around town with guns all the time. I walked down the highway with a gun and hunted off the side of the road with a shotgun everywhere I went. I have walked from Marco Island to Goodland Point carrying a shotgun, and nothing was never said about it. That's where it should be today. But I thought that was an interesting picture. That building is not even there anymore. It belonged to Molly Hamilton, and she was an outstanding lady. And how you knew that she liked you, if she didn't call you an SB, she didn't like you. If she called you an SB, you knew she liked you. That's about the way she was.
Yep.
She was a character. There's so much for that. Anybody got any questions?
Well, I do. I wonder who got that squared away with Kelly and Darrow to come visit you.
Good question. I know they had to come down to that funeral for, I can't think of his name now. I know him. I can't think of his name now.
Yeah.
But he still had to come all the way down from way up around Lakeland.
Yep.
But he
Yeah,
died years. I didn't even know he had passed away until uh, I think
yeah, it's
David told me.
Strickland. Yeah, it's Strickland.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Strickland.
Johnny
That's who it
Strickland
was.
passed away.
Yeah,
Yeah, because his funeral was in Lakeland, but his burial was in Brandon.
Brandon. Yes.
Yep.
So Kelly and them come all the way down here, even from Brandon, you know,
Yep.
to present that award to me, which was very nice of them to do that. I highly appreciate that.
You're welcome. Because me and Kelly worked on that for a little while to get him get Kelly to come down and surprise you. I didn't know Daryl was coming until the morning of when Daryl called me that morning. Yeah, and Kelly was giving me an update. I says, Daryl coming with you? He goes, oh, I was surprised on that one.
Well, it was a surprise. I'm telling you that right now. How long you been in the SCV now?
Since 97,
97.
97, 96.
Yeah. I know you went in when you was young.
Yeah, I joined roughly around 18 years old at the Battle of Fort Myers reenactment that used to be out in Buckingham. Sons of the Union veterans had a booth there. I got to talk with them. I said, what do you do in the community? They really didn't have enough to say. So the guys with the AC Myers camp, the old camp, the original camp in Fort Myers, I knew all those guys. Anyhow, so I got to talk with them. Like, yeah, come join us. We do cemetery cleanup, installing headstones, get-togethers, all this stuff, and talk about the history. So it got my interest, and been with them ever since. Leon, speaking of Daryl Rattery, ask Leon if he has anything on Cuz Rivers.
Cheers Rivers. Did you say Cheers Rivers?
Yes,
I
might
knew
have
him.
said the.
I knew him. Yes. Back where he lived up there in Collier County, where you turn to, I call it Mockley Road, where you could turn off of 41 and on Mockley Road and go to Mockley. He lived out there, but part of that road was a dirt road at one time. But he lived off out there in them cypress woods. I don't know, probably maybe 3 or 4 miles off of 41. But out there where he lived was all hunting country. You could hunt all in there then.
Yeah.
And all that country down there from south of Naples, that was all hunting country when I was young. That's all subdivisions and everything in the world in there.
Talking about dues recently, tell them how many life memberships you have in camps.
Do you have any life members in your camp besides you?
Yes, I have me and the Smith family. So I have a total of 3.
3.
Now, all 3 of us are national. 2 of us are also division life members.
I think that's what we have 3 here too. Is me and Klaus and
Reed,
Tim and Reed also. He's a life member. So we have 4 of them.
but you,
Yeah.
But I'm a life member too. I'm a life member national and a life member of the division.
and separate.
And plus,
Yeah.
I'm a life member of your camp, the Bogus camp. When I chartered that camp, they made me a life member. I'm a life member of the camp in Sebring. When I chartered it, they made me a life member. I'm a life member of the Confederate Cavalry camp because I chartered that one. And in the early camp, they made me an assistant life member of their camp as well. Because I used to go to their meetings some too.
Yep. Since we're on the subject, guys, National just sent an email out about dues. Grace period ends this weekend. Get your dues in. Your national dues and your division dues are due this weekend. Then you're going to get hit with late fees and reinstatement fees.
You are exactly right. And that seems to be a problem everywhere you go, that we can't get our people to get their dues in on time.
Some of your new members already want to go life member.
But I've got a couple of new members now that's considering going to be life members, which I wish everybody would.
Yeah, it's easier. That way you don't have to fuss or try to remember to pay dues and all that stuff. Get it done and over with. It just makes
Yep.
it easier.
If all of us are life members, it makes it awful easy on your adjutant.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I've been in the SCV 96, 97, and I just became a life member, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, last year. Last year.
I think it was you did it. Yeah.
Yep. I wanted to get it done and over with. 30, 40 some years in the SCV, get it done and over with.
But it's
That's
been
where
fun.
most of this gray hair has come from.
Been fun. I remember they had a little reenactment up yonder in Zolfo one time, and
Yeah.
had one of the UDC girls come out there, with the Union come on the field, and I was back up toward the road behind the artillery pieces, and some of the Union soldiers coming to field. One of the UDC ladies went out there with an umbrella and started beating on his head. I thought that was comical.
Yeah. I will say this, don't put the blue suit on in Georgia. They'll start throwing acorns at you.
Oh, yeah, they probably would. Well, probably a lot of these people don't have good people like Yankee Bob like we got there.
Exactly. And speaking of Yankee Bob, welcome to the show.
Well, hi, Bob. How you doing? I don't think you heard me. I wanted to tell him he's a member.
Leon, we got Victor Smith asks, what tartan are you, what's the tartan of the day?
What's the what?
Give that to me again.
What's the tartan of the day?
The tartan.
Oh,
Of the day.
I don't have one on right now.
That's surprising.
But the one
Normally you got one.
The one I just took off was a Campbell. Clan Campbell.
Cool.
I got them old trousers on now.
Right.
But I got Campbell's, Black Watch. I got MacArthur's. I got National Tartans of Scotland. And I got
Skye?
the Clan Sterling
Isle of Skye.
and the Isle of Skye tartan as well, which that Isle of Skye tartan consists of MacArthur's, McDonald's, Mackenzie's, and maybe even Macintosh. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I got about a dozen of them.
Yeah, I only got one right now myself, but I'm looking into getting my my grandmother's side tartan, the Dunlop. That way, I got my mother's side and my dad's side covered.
Kind of amazing you brought that up about tartans, that we can go back to what we was talking about, the SCV and Florida soldiers and everything that come into Florida. And a lot of people may not know this, but a lot of these people that come in Florida, of course, the Seminoles had cattle here before the white people did. But the white people that come down started the cattle business in Florida, because Florida's been in the cattle business for over 500 years. We was in the cattle business long before Texas the West ever was.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand that and don't realize it, but we call them Florida cow hunters. We don't call them cowboys. And now they refer to themselves as cowboy. But back when I was young, years ago, you never referred to people in Florida as being cowboys. They were referred to as cow hunters because they was working wild cows out in the woods. They didn't have all the improved pastures like they got today and all the catch pens and stuff that they worked cows in. They had open ranges. And I understand there's a ranch here in DeSoto County right now that is going in there and they're tearing down all the trees that's not native trees of Florida. If it's not native of Florida, they're taking it out. All the irrigation ditches that's been dug, they're filling them in. They're going to have a perimeter fence around the whole ranch, and it's thousands and thousands of acres. And they're going to go back and work cows in there the old way. They're going to round up them cows. They're going to have a central cow pens where they can put the cows in to work the cows to separate the calves and the cows and stuff from the bulls, the young bulls and stuff. They separate them and worm them and everything like that. So that's the way they're going to go back and do it. I was so glad to hear that because, you know, we're losing so much of our agricultural land, our cattle land for industry and development that we're screwing ourselves in this state. And you can't seem to make some of our politicians understand that.
Alrighty. All right, guys, 2 minutes.
But all those people were Scottish to begin with. They were all Scots and Scot-Irish. And they referred to them. I got pictures of some of them they were referred to as British cowboys as well. I've got pictures of some of them sitting on horses, barefooted, with no shoes, no brogans on, no boots or nothing. But they had spurs wrapped around their heels and strapped across their feet, riding horses barefooted with spurs on.
Hey, Leon, quick question. The cattle, what type of cattle was it back in the day when Spain settled here?
It was a cattle, from what I understand, that come from the Andalusia Valley in Spain. They were a small cow with big horns, big feet. I think from what I've heard and read and what people have told me from around here that they probably didn't go much over 400 to 500 pounds. They wasn't big like a lot of the Bramers and stuff that we got today and the Angus that we got. Of course, the Angus cow was the off-breed from the cows from Scotland, the Black Angus from Scotland. The Bramers came from India, but these cows were tough and durable for this hot weather and this climate that we had here. In fact, I think Jacob Summerlin made a statement, you know, that he'd eat so much of that old tough Florida beef when he was young that he was almost bulletproof. A bullet would bounce off of him. That the cattle meat eat was so tough.
Yep. All right, guys. Linda, you have a good night. So we're getting ready to wrap everything up. Does anybody have any questions for Leon? Feel free to think of some. Exactly, Miss Hudson. If not us, who? If not, when? Wonder who said that. Bobby Goodyear, good to see you, buddy.
Is Bobby still on?
Yeah, Yankee Bob he's getting ready to sign off. But yeah, he's still
can
here.
you still hear me?
Yeah, he should.
Bobby, can you hear me?
You can't hear him. Just say.
I can't hear him, but I want him to know, you can let him know if he can hear me, that we made him a Legionnaire of Confederate Cavalry Camp 2181.
You see that, Dylan? I got it up on the screen.
I can't see it.
He just says,
Okay.
Hi, Bob Goodyear.
So he'll get a certificate or something.
We'll get you a certificate or something made up to go with that.
Daryl's got another question for you. Do you
Good.
have a Rat Ray tartan?
Rat Ray tartan?
No, I do not. I do not.
Don't know.
I think Daryl was Irish, but they do have tartans for the Irish people.
Yep.
They have tartans for German people because Germans, Russia, even some people from Spain were settled all in those countries. They were pretty much all Celtic people. You look into medieval history, you know, in France, they had what they called the Franks, which were Celtic people as well. And then that name Franks turned into France. And A lot of the people in Russia was Celtic people that come from the Viking race of people. And they went into Russia and settled there. Those Vikings did, and they assimilated with the people there. And the Vikings called that land Prussia, but then it has changed. The modern name is Russia.
Interesting. All right, guys. Oh, Barbara Ganniard said he's honored, Leon.
Well, you're quite welcome. We appreciate what you do and how you support us and stick up for us. That means a lot to every one of us.
Yes, Daryl. We do. Scottish. We will have to work on getting Leon one. Yes, sir.
Well, train your kids to be Scottish. Get them a kilt.
I just found out the other day there's a place just right up the road that has Scottish Highland cows.
Really?
Yeah, up in Sarasota area.
Becomes commander.
Yeah. I've been trying to get David to wear one.
What? Oh, I heard Commander and Commandos.
Last time he was here at the house, I had one for him. I said, David, go in the house, put one on here. Oh, I better not do that.
Yeah, David's watching and Kathy's watching too. Glad they all could be here tonight.
Well,
Glad you all could be here tonight. So we're getting ready to wrap everything up. So a word from a good friend of ours, Dixie Digital Media Online Event Registration Solutions. If you're having an event, you need help on registration for that event and that, please hit up Bob Highball. He is a Florida Division member, and this is his company. He'll be happy to help out any SCV, OCR, or UDC chapters to get online websites, a whole bunch of other stuff, including event registrations. So please hit up Bob Highball, and they'll help you out. And yes, Victor, I did see your message. I'm going back through it. Victor Smith did say October 14th in Lady Lake, Florida. Join Camp 741 on hosting the Mississippi Division Commander and AOT Councilman candidate Forrest S. Dawes. For information, email Camp Commander Victor Smith at VicSmith741 at yahoo.com. So, exactly. So, guys, I love Leon taking a chance, taking a second out of his busy day on coming on and speaking with us and talk about a little history of him and some of these camps here in Southwest Florida and how they got started. As you mentioned, Leon did talk about the Lieutenant Bogus camp, which I'm the camp commander for down in Naples, Florida. So if you're in Naples and you want to know what's going on, or if you want to come join us for a camp meeting, please hit me up. Or if you're in Arcadia, you can hit up Leon or his other half, Dylan.
yeah, absolutely. You're always welcome.
Exactly. The only thing I require is a shirt and pants. Yeah, I believe in the Beverly Hills. Take your shoes off the next time.
I wear my kilt to meetings quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen and ladies, have a good night. Stay Southern. And if you're down and out, having a hard time this week, please check out Psalms 23. It does lift my spirits when I'm getting frustrated. Till next Wednesday, where we have our division commander and our division adjutant coming on. Stay Southern, stay out of trouble, and may God bless you in your ventures this week.
Y'all have a good evening.
Oh, Leon, it just came up. Schultz was asking, when's your next meeting, camp meeting, Leon?
September the 9th.
September the 9th. It's the second Tuesday of every month at 6:45 at the American Legion building in Arcadia, right on the river.
Yep. Chip, if you want an address or anything, just poke me and I'll get you the address and you can come on down and join us. I'm always
Absolutely.
at Leon's camp meeting.
Absolutely. Anytime.
I always have a blast with Leon and the camp members there in Arcadia.
I've invited 2 more people I'm working on to recruit now, so from Inglewood. So hopefully they'll be there as well.
Cool. All right. Till next Wednesday, stay Southern.
My name is Nelson W. Winbush. I'm a member of the Jacob Sumner Camp 1516 Sons of Confederate Veterans. My reason for joining the Sons of Confederate Veterans after the NAACP declared they would destroy and remove everything Confederate in 1990, I decided that I would do all I could to make sure that people understood what the Confederacy stood for.